everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another plant inspired video. I have a squirrel on the tree above me, which I'm nervous that it's going to fall on me. But I want to go ahead and just sit down and casually plant talk with you while I'm doing my laundry. I just came home from teaching my morning client and going to the gym. So it's a very relaxing Sunday, and boy, I can't believe it is March 1st. If you've been watching my channel since I've been back from traveling, I've been sharing all of the plant heartaches that I've been going through, dealing with the collection, coming back weeks later and seeing a bunch of plants not do well with me and trying to save them or just parting ways. But before I go ahead and do a pot of fame, I wanted to highlight 10 different babies that surprisingly did well for me while I was away. So I picked up different variety of plants to just kind of inspire you that maybe they might do good for you too in your part of the world if you're a traveler like myself, and to inspire you that there are a handful of plants that are traveler friendly or maybe plants that don't need a lot of attention. The first plant that I want to bring up, surprisingly, I cannot believe I'm sharing this plant with you. This is my curly spider plant, and this, guys, is my second purchased plant. My first original curly spider plant did not do good with me. Maybe it was from where I purchased it, I'm not too sure, but this has done surprisingly well. In fact, all of my spider plants did really well while I traveled, and this is a very common house plant where I am from. Not so much the curly spider plant, but other variations of them, depending on where you are common. Let me know in the comments down below if the curly spider plant is readily available in your area of the world. But I was very surprised to see this plant do pretty well with me while I was away for a couple of weeks. This one lives right in front of my succulent shelfie, right by my entrance of my door, and so far so good. But this was really shocking to see that it was not upset that I left it for a couple of weeks. I think watering it maybe 2 times since I've been away was all it needed, and I'm happy to report that this was a non-dramatic plant for me while I travel. If you are a collector like myself, then you might be having a Sansevieria or 2 in your collection, and I wanted to bring this one up because I haven't really highlighted this particular Sansevieria in my collection. And this is a very, they call it in garden centers, tough as nails type of plant. They don't require much of anything. They're also great with low lighting as well. So if you don't have a lot of lighting like me, in my studio, these are probably going to be your go-to plants. And if you're a traveler like myself, they don't really require much. I maybe water my Sansevierias like my cacti, so not very often. Maybe 2, maybe 3 times a month, if that. And again, dramatic free, and depending on the type of Sansevierias you get, they're very aesthetically pleasing. I like this samurai variation. I don't know the exact name of this one, but I just like the aesthetic of it. It's cool, it's interesting, it's definitely a conversational piece, and didn't mind me leaving it for a couple of weeks, probably while I was away traveling. Maybe it got watered once, if that, and that is pretty much it. But again, very non-fussy type of plant. And with Sansevierias, really my main problem with them is that if they get overwatered by rain or yourself, they do not like a lot of water. So I treat them like cacti or succulents. They rarely get any water. So that's also another plus side if you are not wanting to give a lot of attention or don't have time for plant life and still want plants in your life. Sansevierias are your go-to, but this is just one of them that I wanted to highlight. For the most part, all of my Sansevierias did pretty well while I was away, so I don't really have to say anything bad about them. Just don't overwater them. And if it does rain, I don't know if you remember in the past when I had heavy rain sometime last year, I had to bring my whole collection in my house to save them, and I will do things like that because I've lost a lot of plants from the rain. So with that being said, let me know in the comments down below if you love Sansevierias just as me, and are you giving them a lot of attention or not, or do you find them to be very easy plants? So if you are working indoors and maybe you want a plant in your office or in your workspace, Sansevierias are your go-to. They don't require much and they're great in low lighting situations. So I wanted to highlight another common plant that maybe is readily available in different parts of the world. This is my money tree, and it's doing really good. I'm very impressed. Ever since I put it in my bathroom, it's been loving life and has been a very low maintenance plant for me. I think maybe while I was gone, it maybe got watered twice, and that is about it. There's a lot of new growth on it, and I may or may not add this to pot of fame for the month of February because I see lots of new growth. Another fun plant, and I need to dust it off. This is why I do the clean with me videos, because things like this, I won't really catch it unless I'm filming for the channel. But this is one of my beautiful Hoya obovadas. Like, look at it. It's crazy, it's cool, it's so impressive, and you can style it in many ways. You can have it climb up a trellis, you can have it trail down, and literally non-dramatic plant. I have another one that's smaller than this but still big, and both are doing really good. There's a lot of babies I propagated from the mother plant that are now living with you guys. So let me know down in the comments below if your Hoya obovata is doing really good. It's like going crazy right now with the squirrels. There's a lot of activity in the tree because the weather is really nice. It's like kind of like a California summer vibe right now, where it's like sunny and a little bit of cool, hence why I'm in a bikini and a hoodie. But this is one of my favorite non-dramatic plants. I've never ever had a problem with my Hoya obovata. Sound off in the comments below if you purchased one of my babies from my mother plant, and how is it doing for you in your part of the world. Has it been giving you a lot of new growth? Has it been non-dramatic for you? I would love to hear updates, and send me pictures on a DM, Planting with Jewelyn, to show me updates of your plant babies. I would really love to see that. And I think this plant is also due for a cleaning as well. My grandma and I should have done this Hoya because it's pretty dusty and definitely needs a cleaning. But wanted to at least bring up my big mother plant and share with you that it did not have any problems with me traveling. A little bit more sensitive plant, but still did good with me while I was traveling, is my Antheria. So originally when I bought this plant, I know you guys can't see me, originally when I bought this plant, I thought it was a philodendron because the nursery told me it was a philodendron, and then one of my subscribers told me it was an Antheria. This plant has not given me any problems at all and did pretty well while I traveled and left it for a couple of weeks, and there's a lot of new growth as well. Probably, again, most of my houseplants got watered maybe twice while I was away and didn't require much of anything else. And especially my rare plants, guys, I get really nervous coming home after being away for a while and seeing like, what do they look like? Did they drop a bunch of leaves? Do I have to propagate them and try to like save whatever's left? But I think ever since I put it on the coco coir, it's been really happy, and I would like to maybe one day in the future, maybe in 2 years or so when this thing is bigger, maybe propagate it and make more for myself to fill up the planter. But for now, I'm just gonna let it be because this is not a common plant in my area, and I don't wanna mess up the vibe of it. But it's doing great. So happy about this one. Are you guys surprised I'm bringing up a fern? This is my Boston fern, and I love all of my ferns. For the most part, none of them have ever given me any trouble. This is probably the most common one that I have in my collection. I have a very big fern collection. I just love them. They remind me of Hawaii and tropical places. And this is living in a shaded area next to my fountain on this wooden bench, and it gets partial sunlight. Maybe in the morning it gets hit with like direct sunlight, but other than that, it's in a shaded spot in my patio and doing really well. Look at it. It's doing so good. So if you have maybe like a shaded patio and want to, I get eaten alive by this fern. If you have a shaded patio and want to bring some tropical vibes to your space, if you want to try out a fern, I say bird's nest fern or Boston fern would be maybe my picks to start, and then the rest kind of get a little finicky. Like, I would never do a maidenhair fern. That's like the worst one. I bought 3 and I will never buy it again. They're very sensitive, but this one was non-dramatic, and I'm happy to report that it is not upset with me leaving it for a while. Now, I know you guys watched the saving my Tradescantia video and watching my grandma propagate it, so thank you, grandma, for helping me with that project. But guys, a bunch of them for the most part gave me no drama, and this is one of them. This is one of my Tradescantias that is living in my bathroom. A lot of them live in my bathroom and doing really good. A lot of new growth, and I think it just maybe depends on maybe where you're keeping it. I know for whatever reason, my Sabrina type of Tradescantias, they don't like me traveling. The more hardier ones, like my Nanook, very easy. My plant enthusiast tip for anybody interested in Tradescantias, new to it and don't wanna maybe stress too much about the plant, start with the more hardier ones, because the Zebrina Tridescantias, that long traily type that is a little bit less hardier than this one, as you could see, it did not like me traveling. In fact, I'm looking at one right now and I'll bring it up here and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So do you see like how the top is not as full but the bottom is? I don't know, it's a lot of high maintenance, so I'm gonna have to go through this plant and take off all of the browning leaves, versus one that is more hardier like this. Very easy to clean up and non-dramatic. Alright you guys, this is probably going to be my biggest houseplant, maybe my Hoya ovovata. This is my red edge peperomia. Oh my goodness, it is so heavy. Let me see if I can get it in the frame. So this is one of my prized plants. Look at it, it's such a beast. I love this plant, and this is one of my peperomias that don't mind me traveling. Again, it has that baby rubber vibe like the obtusifolia, where it's more of the thicker succulent type leaves, so they store more water, versus something like my pixie lime or my caparata, my ripples. They're a lot thinner, like really like a houseplant, so those ones require more water and more upkeep. These succulent type leaves, they're really easy to take care of and very travel friendly. So here is another spin and a 360 of my beautiful red edge peperomia. I've had this thing now for many years. I know a bunch of you guys also got cuttings off of this, but I love this plant a lot. Drama free, and I even see a rat tail bloom here, so it's happy, and I'm happy to report that this plant is also travel friendly as well. The last plant of my 10 plants that were drama free while I traveled is going to be my variegated monstera, and this is my Thai constellation, one of them. And this plant did not give me any drama. None of my monsteras gave me drama actually. And this baby unfurled so nicely for me. Now this leaf is browning, but it was like this when I purchased it. This plant is one of my handful of rare plants that I spent a lot of money on last year. So I hate to cut this leaf off because it's like worth $75 maybe, this one leaf, for the amount of money I spent on it. So I hate to cut it off, but eventually I will. And I am so happy to come home to all my variegated monsteras and even my regular monsteras. George and George Jr. did really well while I was traveling. So I hope you guys found this video inspiring and kind of offset all of the sad plant life news that I came home to with my collection while I was away. But that is the negative side of plant life. And you know, for the most part, with having around 600 plants, I am not upset with the handful that did not like me traveling or died while I was away, because at the end of the day, for the most part, I want to say 98% of the collection did fine. That's the wrap of today's video, just a casual, relaxing video. And let me know in the comments down below, do you have any of the plants that I mentioned in today's video? Do you have any drama with them, or do you agree with me and they're non-dramatic for you? Also, maybe if I didn't mention any of the plants that you have, let me know in the comments down below any of the plants that you have that are non-dramatic, and I would love to see that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads between the main channel Monday to Friday, the vlog channel Saturday and Sunday. You get a video each and every day. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye.